Hey, it's Junkman back with 3/6's drummer Konnyaku.
What's happening, everybody?
You played in some pretty talented bands before, man. You were in Slayer for a while.
I was a fill-in for Lombardo for a minute. Yeah.
How did you get involved with 3/6's?
I've known Damien since not long after I moved to California. We played in some Orange County heavy metal bands together. One of those groups was a band that Tom Araya was producing, which was kind of how I got tied into that whole crew. And he was actually doing auditions a while ago, hit me up. We didn't connect. He found a drummer, and then that guy wound up bailing on him, and he needed somebody to do some shows. I jumped in. We'd known each other for a long time, and it connected. So we started playing together, and it's been a lot of fun.
Your take on Damien's lyrics. Damien's got some pretty not only impressive, but some controversial lyrics, so to speak.
Yeah.
What's your take on it? Tell me.
Anything in particular?
Nah, just, you know what, first glance and the way that you are with them, any objections, any kind of reaction that you had when you first heard it.
No, I mean, no objections. I think we see a lot of things on parallel lines for the most part. We've had our little creative discourses about a couple things, but I think most of that is, if anything, come down to just personal perspective. But it's been minor at best on anything along that line. We just have a lot of similar taste in music and bands, things that have been influential to us. Mm-hmm. So outside of maybe porking dead people, yeah.
We talked about necrophilia earlier, but,
yeah.
Well, as a drummer, there's a couple of songs on the record that are it's programming as opposed to live drums. And how do you feel about that? I'm a drummer myself. Let me know, and the other people know about. How do you feel about strict programming as opposed to live drumming?
Well, for the way that those songs were done at the time that they were done, and what they were done for, particularly like IFTD. Being a fan of some of like jungle drum and bass type music and that kind of thing, I thought it was actually really cool to hear that. So my goal on that song, I actually brought in like some auxiliary percussion and did some stuff to try and really, as much as possible, emulate kind of a dance feel when we did the song live.
What's the most challenging song of all of them for you?
At this point?
Yes.
As far as the current stuff, probably Lead Winged Angel. It's a lot of blast beats, really fast tempo, and then the title track, there's a lot going on in that one also.
Did you have to alter anything for the particular track for Lead Winged Angel, especially for like the video? Did you have to add anything separate to that or anything in addition to?
No. A big goal of mine, if I'm going to be playing along with something that's programmed, is either for me to be keeping the beat and the programming to be doing its trickery, or the programming to kind of be filling in space like a shaker or something like that would do on a track. And I would be doing a lot of the insanity when it comes to drumming. So anything that I play, I want to make sure that it's something that if I'm playing the stuff in the studio, that's something I can replicate live. I don't do a bunch of overdubbing and that type of thing. The only thing that I did any overdubbing on was a song that actually I just did kind of like a timpani type thing on the floor tom, and then some cymbal swells, which is physically impossible to play the two together. But that was more for an effect. That was more like an orchestral type percussion, not like a drum set type thing. So no, all the stuff on the record I play as it is.
Okay, part of the release you do you use a click track. Explain the pros and cons and why.
Virtually all the songs we do to a click track. Most of that is predominantly because we're flying in samples, and to keep the samples in time with the music, that's something that's really important. On our past release, the song Holy Man, we actually synced up a jackhammer sound to go with the kick drum. So to get everything to lock in, especially when you're talking about something that's I think it was at like 210 beats a minute, and you've got these little things that are happening.
Right.
Really difficult to do that kind of thing on the fly. That's the primary reason that I use a click with this group. I think the pro on it is that you get a similar feel and a similar thing happening with the songs as far as the vibe. You don't have to worry about melodies getting lost if things are going too fast or too slow. Probably the only negative for me about that is just you're a little bit tethered to the tempo. So like if the crowd's really going off and the band's feeling the energy and there's this whole cycle of energy going on between the group and the fans, a lot of times it feels good when you can pick the tempo up and just kind of like elevate the energy even more. But when you do that when you're playing to a click, you just sound like you're rushing and fucking everything up. But as far as what it does for the samples and what we do with this band, works really well.
Terrific. I was told that there's a bit of a list that you have that is available. Tell us about your list.
My list?
Yes, your list.
What list is this?
The fuck you list, I've been told. They're telling me about the fuck you list.
Yeah, actually, I think there was supposed to be a thank you list and a fuck you list, and ideally for this record, they were both dedicated to the same person. That'd be the singer of this fine band. The thank you is for writing so many cool songs and such great shit, and the fuck you is for making me play some of the shit that he wanted me to play. So in like a moment of inspiration, I would fire off some insane thing that I never thought I could play again, and sure enough, he'd be right at the front of my drum set pointing at me going, yeah, do that. Do that actually through the whole song if you wouldn't mind. So.
Thank you.
After infecting him, researchers cut him open alive to witness the damage the disease had caused.
Tell us
Possibly affecting
about your kit, studio-wise, as opposed to live-wise. Is there a difference in it, or?
No.
No, really.
No, I mean, worst case scenario, I have to reduce just based on lack of microphones in live settings, or if we don't have enough space. But no, for the most part, what I bring in the studio is what I bring on stage. And if I put it on stage, I'm going to hit it with a stick. If I'm not going to be hitting it, then it won't be on stage with me.
Describe your kit live. What you got?
What I've used with us has either been in some smaller settings, like a 5-piece kit, just a little more of a basic breakdown. If I'm able to, and we're doing the full setup, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 toms, double kick,
24s, 22s?
22, 18 by 22. And then cymbals are all Peisty signature, the heavy full crashes, 16, 18, 19, 20, a 20-inch bell ride, 14-inch sound edge hi-hats, 10-inch sound formula hi-hats that are closed, a pair of 14-inch dark energy hi-hats, a 10 and 12-inch splash, and an inverted cup chime, and two 18 chinas, a heavy and a thin.
Specifics. That's exactly what I was looking for. Dude.
Right on.
So, congratulations on the new record. Really looking forward to it.
Thanks, man.
And, hey, dig it. It's going to be great.